Hi there, greetings and salutations from a brand new, I should say brand new, but we are very Chili Water as well as Hoagies and Hops on the north side of Indianapolis, and Derek has begun this show with two things. Number one is correct, number two is not. Number one, he has already begun the show by 3 times saying into the microphone, everyone's mad at me. That's always true. Number two, he's called me his kid's name 3 times.
Yeah, sorry about that. Quick correction. Not the north side of Indianapolis. We are in Midtown in Indianapolis, 42nd and
4200
Boulevard
North. Yes.
Yeah, it's not the. Nobody calls this the north side. North side would be up like Castleton, Nora area. That's the north side. This is not. Yeah, this is not the north side. It is technically north of downtown, but only about 4 miles north of downtown here in Midtown. And excited to be here. We're in the Chili Water Brewing tap room right now. You see the awesome Phillyopoulos displays and all the taps and the tiles that are over here. And then behind us is the Hoagies and Hops kitchen. So over my left shoulder.
All of it's the best.
They're slanging sandos in there.
They are.
It's awesome. We are in the belly of the beast here at Hoagies and Hops, and we really appreciate it.
And we are actually recording this before everything gets going, right? So typically when you're here, especially on a game day for whether it be Penn State, Philly, obviously the Colts, whatever it might be, this is the place to be. It's packed in here.
Yeah,
right?
We were concerned. I mean, obviously we do our due diligence with this. Bringing the show here takes a lot. It takes, Christina and the folks at Chili Water and everybody else to say yes, first off, and the ISC crew for them to say yes to get everybody down here. But also I checked with the fire marshal, and they knew that if we did this show while things were open, they were worried about the crush, the demand of people that would be here. So for safety concerns, we decided, hey, it's better if we just pre-tape it beforehand here before you guys can come into the doors. And let's keep everybody safe.
I've been here on a crisp fall Saturday afternoon. They don't need us for this place to be hopping, right?
No, but knowing not only can you get delicious Chili Water beers and delicious Hoagies and Hop Sandos here, but Query and Schultz are also here, and you can literally reach out and touch them. There is a real demand for that.
I'm sitting far enough away from you that I have no interest.
This is actually great. We're much closer than I could actually put my foot on your chair. Just while we're talking, we could just kind of do this, face to face. So what do you think about the Mark Sanchez situation?
What I think is this. What I think is I would like the separation for the two of us to be a little closer to the separation we saw between the Indianapolis Colts and the Las Vegas Raiders. What the Colts did, Derek, is an easy way of saying it. We've wondered if the Colts are good. This is the time of year, right, where you look at teams and you start saying, are they good? I'm not sure if they're good. Good teams separate from and then make no question about the differential between themselves and bad teams. And that's exactly what the Colts did. The Raiders on the first drive looked fairly impressive. And then after that, there was no question about the fact that Indianapolis was a superior team. They were better on special teams. They were better on defense. They were better running the ball. They were better passing the ball. That was a Jim Mora level. The Raiders couldn't do diddly poo. And the Indianapolis Colts, and maybe Jacksonville's in the discussion. Who knows, right? But the Indianapolis Colts now are undoubtedly, for right now through 5 weeks, one of, if not the best teams in the National Football League, and certainly one of the top teams in the AFC.
I mean, it was a college game on Sunday. That was a game like you go to IU or you go to Notre Dame and they're playing, Army or Kennesaw State. That was
Correct.
that game. Those don't happen in the NFL. I don't care how bad the Raiders are. Are the Raiders bad? Yeah, of course they're bad. They didn't have Bowers. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a bad football team. Are the Dolphins bad? Sure. Are the Titans bad? Yeah. It's still hard to beat teams by 3 touchdowns.
Bad teams in the NFL when you're a good team.
Jake, exactly. It is difficult to beat teams running away like that. Even to beat teams consistently by 10, 14 points is tough to do. The Colts are doubling up all of these teams. I mean, a 34-point win, are you kidding me? And the only reason it was only 34 is because they didn't have a kicker for most of it. They had to go for 2 a bunch of times. So you're right. This is the time of the year where we start feeling comfortable about making declarations. And as much as people are still on edge, and here in this town, you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? I think we can declare.
I don't feel overly comfortable making the declaration sitting 18 inches from me.
I think we can declare firmly that the Colts are a good to very good team in a year in the NFL where there don't appear to be any great teams.
I would agree with that.
So it's not only that the fact that the Colts are playing really good football, it's the fact that so many other teams aren't.
Who's the best team in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to lean Bills and Eagles, right? But we've seen
Eagles,
them not be that great here to start. I mean, I think the Rams are really good.
The Eagles
but
have
the
been
Rams,
pretty good. They had one bad week, right?
the Rams can get got. And you look at the AFC right now, and I'm real hesitant to make any declarations on the Chiefs because we do this. Oh, my God, the Chiefs are done. They're not the same Chiefs. Look, the Chiefs are the Chiefs of the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs are the Chiefs until they're not the Chiefs in January, not in October and September, whatever else. But still, that looks like a flawed team. Baltimore is, God, I know they've had injuries. They're a mess, dude.
I know.
They're a mess right now. I mean, that Houston team is really not that good, and they crushed them.
Well, they have, and Lamar Jackson's out, right?
Sure.
But still, yes, to your point, that game was never in doubt.
But how about the fact that you have the Colts and Jags seemingly sitting atop not seemingly, they are sitting atop the AFC right now and seemingly looking like contenders. What a great win for Jacksonville last night as we're taping this on early Tuesday morning. So, man, you know, the beauty of the NFL, Jake, is that unlike for a large majority of the time Major League Baseball, or unlike for a large majority of the time the NBA, there's always the unexpected, right? Expect the unexpected. And no one could have possibly foreseen that the Colts would be in the position that they are through 5 weeks.
It comes down to a couple of things. Daniel Jones is the difference, because Daniel Jones is not only taking care of the football and not turning the ball over. When he does have the occasional mistake, he is not dwelling on it, and he's able to get right back on the horse. And there's a symbiotic relationship now between Daniel Jones and the play calling of Shane Steichen. Steichen is calling a play masterfully to bring things out of Jones, and Jones is playing in such a way that it allows for a diversity of play calling from Shane Steichen. That's number one. Number two, say what you want about Steichen and as a head coach, and he needs a quarterback to be whatever. The messages that he has sent to his roster about professionalism, preparation, and taking it seriously. We saw it again now with A.D. Mitchell. And Ashton Dulin comes in, and Ashton Dulin puts on his hard hat and does Ashton Dulin things. You and I have talked about him forever. And that, though, is an example of the leadership that the Colts are getting, and the fact that guys that buy into that are going to play and play well. And the Colts they're not messing around anymore. I think they messed around for a while because they had a quarterback where they let him play with his food, and now it's like, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, and he just fits, right? He fits the offense, he fits the personnel, he fits the scheme, and I don't think that we can underrate that either. You know, we have so many instances, and the Colts have done this before, where they're trying to make teams in the NFL try to make their quarterback into something that they're not. Remember last year right now, you know, Shane Steichen was like, okay, well, Anthony Richardson is a big play quarterback, so let's just go big play hunting. And that didn't work because he was completing like 30% of his passes or 40% of his passes. So you can't live like that in NFL offense. You have to be able to make the layups and do those things, but the fit is perfect. You know, it reminds me a little bit of, you know, Daniel Jones doesn't have to be Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or some of these other players. He just has to be himself. And you know, Purdue basketball is kind of like that, right? Where it's Matt Painter, it's all about the fit. And these guys are great and they excel because they fit into the overall scheme. And you take this roster and, it's probably a middle-of-the-road-ish roster. I mean, you know, the Colts probably have, like the 12th, 13th, 14th,
they
something
have a
like
lot
that.
of depth at their roster.
Yeah. If you take
that, they have depth of position. In other words, I don't know that there's any that you would say the Colts are a team that if they've got to go to their third string guy at any position, they're okay. But if you were to rank the areas where they've covered everything, you know, sometimes teams, Derek, they'll say they got a great line, but they really don't have great receivers. Or they have a great quarterback, but they don't have a great line. The Colts are good in just about every unit. You know, maybe not elite, maybe not totally deep, but in terms of their starting core, I think they've done a nice job of being good to very good in all areas.
Except linebacker. But yes,
yeah,
I agree.
But I don't know the linebacker
every team,
you need today.
Yeah,
right?
every team has flaws and things like that. But if you give a roster that's pretty good, top 10 quarterback play, and that's what I mean, you're getting really top 5 quarterback play through the first 5 weeks. But you know, firmly top 10 quarterback play.
It's pretty cool in here.
That shows the difference. That's why the Colts are in the position that they're in right now. You know, they're in an incredible spot. There's no doubt about it.
We're in an incredible spot.
I know. This is great. This is great being here, and I think Jordan and Vince and everybody will cheer up once they smell the Sandos being made. in the background. It's a delicious smell.
You're very worried about everybody being upset. Let me tell you another thing that happened in this Colts game, Derek, and with the Colts in general, okay? During the Colts game, at the beginning of the year, Derek, myself, everybody said, like, Colts are going to be, whatever, lucky to win 9 games team, right? We were probably early on that. We probably needed to wait to see things a little bit. During the Colts game itself, the Colts late in the game are way ahead, and they're going for 2. And people are, nationally speaking, Shannon Sharp, other people, are sending out things. What in the world are the Colts doing? They're up 28 points or whatever, and they're going for 2. Well, that's because Spencer Schrader was knocked out of the game early on, and the Colts have this weird scenario that was presented where their backup place kicker is Rigoberto Sanchez. Cool. He did it in college. It's fine. Their backup holder is Luke Rhodes. Okay. But their backup snapper has to then come in because Luke Rhodes is their long snapper. So now all of a sudden you're taking away the long snapper, and while it's easy to find somebody to replace as the holder, it's easy to find on their roster somebody to replace the kicker. You're like, wait a minute, who long snaps? Drew Ogletree? When's the last time he did that? So then they're like, okay, this unit we're worried about, and so they go for 2 every time. And everybody's jumping the gun, calling out the Colts for going for 2 without knowing the whole story. Which leads us to what happened just before the game. The situation with Mark Sanchez and the TMZ headline that everybody saw by noon on Saturday, Mark Sanchez, Fox analyst, stabbed downtown Indianapolis. Probably would have behooved a lot of people to just wait, see what's out there. Don't try to be the big hero that breaks the story. Listen, I got the text at 8:30 in the morning. Listen to what happened last night. You're not going to believe what happened last night. We think it might be Mark Sanchez. Okay. What is to be gained by tweeting? Derek, as I told you, the last 2 people ever to break a story were Woodward and Bernstein. We live in an era now where somebody has it first, and within 2 seconds, it's everywhere, right? And nobody ever remembers who the one, but people remember when you're the one that says something stupid about it. This was a classic example, not just of, and we can get into the situation of the bizarre nature of the Sanchez story and the seemingly constant addition of information with it. But this is one where there are a lot of people that would have been a lot wiser to just lay out for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously the stakes are much higher with a situation like this, but it's a lot like sports where after the first game, you're just trying to confirm your priors, right? So you're jumping in, you're saying, see, I told you so. People just want to rush to say, see, I told you so, and not wait for the things to kind of materialize and to come out. But you're right, not only people looking stupid, but also just people looking like bad people for what they say. I mean, and it's kind of almost sad that some people said the things that they said. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I was shocked, given that, there are a lot of bad actors even here in Indianapolis that kind of jump on that. But again, Jake, I think it's an intelligence thing too. I think dumb people are more likely to jump and say something because they're not smart, than kind of wait for things to sort of materialize and kind of go out like that. But so I think it's a combination of things. But unintelligence is kind of the biggest one for me.
So what you're saying is you are used to me waiting things out.
You are, for as many flaws as you have, you are very thoughtful and nuanced when it comes to issues that have real stakes. Sports, you're not really thoughtful or nuanced when it comes to sports. You're kind of an idiot. But when it comes to like things that affect like everyday life, or because all these things, we've been together long enough doing this show. All these things, political issues, crime, these things seep into sports because they just do. Colin Kaepernick, like all these things that we've, Rifra and the Final Four. Remember.
Yeah.
All of those things sort of bleed into sports sometimes, and I've always thought that you handle those things very well.
Well, the one thing in this situation, you have 2 things that are out there. You have a big time, and I don't know if I'd say big time. I mean, Mark Sanchez is certainly a famous person, right? So you have an out-of-town television celebrity who's a former athlete that played in an AFC championship game in this town, right? So, he's a known figure involved in a key story of crime in the United States. and you have the city of Indianapolis. So you have people jumping to the conclusion that this guy, because of the aforementioned attributes to him, has to be innocent and be a victim here. And then you have the other side of it's Indianapolis, which means it has to have been that the crime problems of Indianapolis sought out an out-of-towner. And I understand the natural conclusion in both. There is a natural assumption that because someone is famous, because someone is wealthy, because someone's on TV, because someone was a pro athlete, that means that they are a law-abiding citizen all of the time, because why wouldn't they be? There is also a natural assumption that if something happens in terms of a crime of downtown Indianapolis, that is because of some sort of a riffraff that sought out an innocent victim, because there is precedent of that having taken place in Indianapolis over the last handful of years. So, but that's where you wait things out a little bit. The unfortunate thing in all of this to me is the following, Derek. The unfortunate thing is this. I love, as you know, Indianapolis. I grew up here. I love the history of Indianapolis. I love the current of Indianapolis. I love the downtown of Indianapolis. I'm downtown Indianapolis probably more than the average person. I'm on Monument Circle every single day for my job. I come down probably one weekend night per weekend, either the Friday or Saturday night. We always go to one of two places. We go north to get something to eat and have a beer or whatever, or we go downtown. Well, I'm downtown a lot. I go to Pacer games. I go to a lot of them. I go to Colts games, all of it. I love downtown. I am not naive to the fact that in the last handful to 10 years, Indianapolis, from a downtown standpoint, has had an increased problem of random crime versus what it had 15 or 20 years ago. It is unfortunate that Indianapolis is in a situation where, when you see that headline, you are not considered to be irrational by drawing the worst-case scenario in your head. But thinking it and verbalizing it to the rest of the world are two different things. The first one is probably a natural assumption. The second one is a natural irresponsibility, and we saw a lot of the second.
Yeah, and the people commenting on it largely are people that don't spend any time downtown. They're in some subdivision in Center Grove, or they're up in Sheridan or something like that. But what I don't understand about the dialogue about downtown is people seemingly rooting for downtown to fail. And I don't think people necessarily realize this, right. But if downtown fails, like, let's just say that it becomes this dystopian nightmare, and it's what people say that it is. It's crime-ridden and all that. All the industry leaves, right? Lilly and Cummins and Elanco and everybody, they just leave
Salesforce,
downtown. Yeah. If you guys want, I mean, we can turn Indiana into West Virginia if you want, and have no jobs and no industry and nothing happening. But guess what happens to your property values if that happens?
Right.
You know, the reason why people want to be around the city, even if you're not in the city, is because you're near a major industry area. Nobody's moving to Wabash, Indiana, but they're moving to Sheridan because you're close to a major urban Derek, center.
I think we're talking about a group of people that it's not that they want Indianapolis to fail. It's that they want their predictions and or concerns that they've been voicing for so long to be verified, which in fact then becomes the first, and that's the problem.
I just think that collectively we should all want Indianapolis to thrive because it's better for everybody if that happens. And it doesn't matter if you live in Avon or whatever. You know, what happens to Brownsburg if Indianapolis fails? What happens to Greenwood if Indianapolis fails? Bad things. I just tell you that. So I don't know. I don't want to get on the soapbox necessarily about that. I'm prideful about Indy because I live here too. And sometimes I'm like, I hear the Donut County complaints. If it were up to me, people that come in from Hamilton County would pay taxes to Marion County for commuting in. They complain about the roads all the time. Well, you're using them all the time.
Right. Lucas Oil Stadium.
When we were living in Connecticut, we paid taxes for New York and things like that, and the commuter tax and things like that. That was at least in the 90s. I don't know if that's still the case now.
I have an uncle. My mom just told me this last night, and I'd like for you to tell me, Derek, if you find this to be exploitive or brilliant. My uncle lived kind of out in the country and had a property with a really long, like probably a half-mile long driveway, because it was way out in the middle of nowhere. And the state road near where he lived, there were road crews out repaving the highway. And so he just went out and said, hey, can you guys just do my driveway while you're at it? And you got all this stuff here in these trucks. Can you just hit my driveway for a little bit?
And did they do it?
They said, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Now, is that brilliant or is that exploitive?
It's brilliant because, you have a two-bedroom apartment, you live alone, I don't know if you've ever parked in a driveway, maybe outside of Shannon's before in your life. It's very expensive to repave a driveway.
Oh, yeah. House.
No, it's expensive to repave a driveway.
No, you just get a couple high school kids,
especially if you're getting
buckets.
like concrete or something nice.
No,
that's pricey.
No, you just listen. When I was in high school, Marshall Gephardt and Jules Johnson were doing driveways every summer. There's no way.
I know that's wrong to do in the taping. Can you just handle this real quick? I gotta take this real quick. No, don't answer it on the air.
Getting a robocall. It says no caller ID. Derek's getting a robocall, right? He is leaving the show. Here we are at Hoagies and Hops in Chillywater, okay? And we're doing all of this. So let me just say right now, we're doing all of this. We can let the cat out of the bag now, okay? Forever, since the time we've been doing this show, 260 episodes. No, you go.
I got two no caller IDs.
The hell do I care? So
calls.
Forever, everybody on the ISC crew, we've all catered to Derek's schedule. We all were driving up near Lafayette because Derek had the big job at Purdue, and it was more convenient. And I was getting up every morning at 6 a.m. on the days that we taped this, and showering and getting makeup and doing everything else and driving an hour plus to be out in the middle of, I'm not going to say nowhere because I like rural Indiana, but it was rural Indiana. Saw a little of everything, okay? I mean, wildlife, corn. I knew the time of year by the height of the corn as we drove to the studios. We did all of this, right? Derek one day says, "Is there any way our friends at Chillywater's and Hoagies and Hops, do you think we could possibly do the show there?" I said, "Are you kidding me? Chillywater's the best. Chillywater has fabulous beers. Chillywater has 2 locations, Northside Fountain Square. Hoagies and Hops goes without saying. They've been not only friends to the show, friends to the neighborhood. Phillyopolis, it's a little bit of Philly, it's a little bit of Indy. They got the best sandwiches around. You don't have to sell me, and it's more convenient for me to get to, but it's all centered around Derek. So we do everything. We move it here, the crew, all of which used to be the ones that waited on us. They're now getting up at 6. They're doing makeup. They're pulling equipment. They're bringing it down here. And we made it almost 18 minutes. Almost 18 minutes before Derek then says, this actually isn't convenient for me. Can I step aside real quick and take a phone call? So I said, no problem. I can do that. I can talk about all those things for as long as we need. I do 3 hours a day. I've never needed Derek in any way, shape, or form to fill time. For that matter, go read War and Peace if you'd like. No problem. So what does he do? He steps aside and then says, never mind. They hung up.
Let me ask you a question for somebody that's never done anything for you before. Let's just talk about – we'll leave the radio stuff aside, right? Let's just talk about this show. How did this Hoagies and Hops relationship come about? Who was the – kind of the starter of the Hoagies and Hops?
I was walking past one day and I was starving, and I said, "This place smells fabulous."
Let me ask you another question. Bailey Wood Financial Group, like who of us have known Mike for 15 plus years?
Myself, actually, in 1986, I went to a Colts Dolphins
get his
game,
mortgage for his
to
house.
a Johnny Cook's Kroger poster, and it landed next to Mike Wood, who was there watching Dan Marino.
How about Chateau Kitchens? Like, who would you say has the better relationship with Stephen Moore and his fantastic crew at Chateau Kitchens, and is the impetus for them deciding to advertise on the show? Somebody's done routine business with them just on a personal level.
That one 100% is you, because you bought a house and decided to flip it entirely within the span of 6 months, and you went into the place and said, "My name is Derek Schultz," and I remember the guy said, "Is that Aquarian Schultz?" And you said, "Yes," and he said, "Oh, okay, well, in that case, cool."
Which of us has been
that one's
close personal friends with Greg Rakestraw? He was at my wedding and worked for him on a regular basis 20 plus years ago and several stints, and kind of cultivated this relationship with ISC.
I've known Rake forever. My mom taught his kids in school.
Which of us has treated Vince with respect and deference and complimented everything that he's done on the show for us?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Vince, who's wearing the Pacer shirt I got?
So I don't.
Because
you don't
he asked,
need me.
Not because he asked,
but really,
of course.
Need me. Let's get to our Hoagie and Hero of the Week.
Okay.
It's brought to you by our friends right here. Hoagies and Hops are right behind us. 42nd and Boulevard.
Right behind us. We're in it.
Well, we're in it, but we're in the Chillywater portion, though. I just want to make sure then there's a hallway there into Hoagies and Hops.
By the way,
brotherly love.
How did you not get us a Chillywater beer?
I did. They're in my backpack. Oh, I forgot to take them out, though. Where's my backpack? There it is. Oh, I gotta.
When you were
can I step off the air here, or are you gonna whine about it?
I mean, what? Why stop now, right?
I got 2 cervezas here. We have the Santeria. This is nice because I have the microphone on the headset, so I don't have to worry about it. We're moving around a lot in the ISC studio, and you have to worry about people being able to hear you. There's our cerveza for today, the Santeria. This is, look at this bad boy, brotherly love, yum.
This is fabulous.
You got some salam on here. You got some ham on here, some chopped turk, some prove, some L, some T, some O, and some OO.
Look at that.
All on the Lisio's bread, South Jersey. Oh, wait, hold on.
it's unbelievable.
Good too because sorry. Good too because you get the mic all up in here, so you can hear them. You can hear the deliciousness.
The perfect compliment for all of this would be the Santeria, which is the Mexican lager from here at Chili Water, right here on tap, typically speaking, just to the left of where we are right now. But this is as good as it gets, right? You're talking about, I love the Mexican lager. This time of year is perfect for it, right? Because this could be a summer beer, but it can be like a warm up by the fire beer
still,
as well.
Yeah, it's still like this is a porch beer. So you're still out on your porch through October, right? For
Good
the
way
most
of saying
part.
it, yep.
It's a porch beer. It's a really good porch beer. It's a great beach beer, too. But, we're kind of out of the beach season right now for the Santeria.
Really
but the
good.
Brotherly Love, delicious, too. Let's get to our hero of the
Only
week.
5 carbs.
And I think this was a fairly easy choice. You could have given it to Daniel Jones again because I thought he was fantastic.
This is the no-brainer. If you don't get this right, I'm leaving. I'm going to get up right now, walk out.
Well, it's Ashton Dulin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you hadn't said that, I'd have left.
He replaced A.D. Mitchell in the lineup, and I wouldn't be surprised if it stayed that way for a while, honestly, with as good as he was against the Raiders. Made a couple of catches, 55 yards. He ran a kickback for a tud that they called back. Had a great sideline grab as well that I don't think he had his feet in. I'm trying to remember the exact situation of why that was. But guy just makes winning plays. He's the ultimate team player. I said on X-Twitter that he was the T.J. McConnell of the Colts. And, some other people were like, hey, I said that on Reddit. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that thought is exclusive to me. I think a lot of people feel that way. Here's a guy that was a UDFA out of a Division II college that doesn't even have a football program anymore. And he's been with the team for 2019. He's won it outside of Quentin Nelson and Zaire Franklin. I think he's the longest tenured Colt. Mo Alley Cox. I always forget about Mo Alley Cox. So he's in the top 5 of the longest tenured Colts. And anything that is asked of him, he does. Now, look, A.D. Mitchell has more talent and has more upside and a bigger ceiling, the whole deal, but you know exactly what you're getting with Ashton
Derek,
Dulin.
Let's think about a couple of minutes ago when you got your robocall.
Yeah.
And you stepped off of the show. And so I just naturally and seamlessly carried on. And it did not take long before people were like, I completely forgot Derek was just on the set, and now he's just gone, right? You're A.D. Mitchell. I mean, you're here. Technically, but the second that you step off, you can just keep going without it, and then you're like, yeah, the veteran here that is just whatever needs to be done can pick it up and carry it on seamlessly. So one AD goes out, the other AD comes in, and the one that comes in Ashton Dulin, this is what he's done throughout his career, and this entire situation, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this situation represents the evolution, the growth, and the maturation of Shane Steichen as a coach. Because Shane Steichen preached when he needed to make the coach or the quarterbacking change that the decision was going to come down to not necessarily even the one that jumps out at you on tape, but rather one that jumps out at you in terms of organizationally the things that he needs done inside the building, inside the meeting rooms, inside the locker room, inside the huddle. And so therefore he said Daniel Jones, and people are like, really? He doesn't jump out at me. And the same thing is true of Ashton Dulin. He is not a receiver that jumps out at you, but he seemingly does each and every little thing. And for Shane Steichen now to have the respected authority amongst his locker room to say, A.D. Mitchell made 2 boneheaded plays. He's a young guy that we're still waiting on, but we need to send him a message. And we have somebody here that I'm perfectly willing plugging in and making the example of, and that guy is going to deliver. And I think A.D. Mitchell got the message, but at what point do you put him back in to say, okay, now show us that you got what the message was? I don't know that Shane Steichen necessarily, I'm not saying that he doesn't execute that same decision-making 2 years ago, but it's not the immediate like, hey, this guy knows what's best for the team like it is now. Because I think Shane Steichen has simply earned that respect, not only amongst the fan base and media, but the locker room as well.
Yeah, and I think it was the right thing for him to do.
Totally.
And A.D. Mitchell played, 4 or 5 snaps, something like that, all in garbage time. He still played. He was active on the roster. But, yeah, I think you sent the message, and accountability is important. There's been a lack of accountability, I think, with the Colts for a while now, where guys have been comfortable with their spots and they haven't been challenged and they haven't had to worry about it. And It just shows, one of the many reasons why this looks like a new Colts team here in 2025, which is just incredible to think. We come back on the show, we will talk more NFL, more Colts, more on the Mark Sanchez situation, and Indiana and Oregon coming up this weekend for College Game Day. Wow.
Did you happen to get your voicemail about the back taxes you owe?
Yeah, no, it's
a health insurance question.
We have an appliance problem, but the problem is they're calling me from a no-caller ID, and they're like, "I'll just call back in a few minutes." I'm like, "Buddy, I'm a media public figure, celebrity. I need to be able to text you because I might be on the air, bright lights and all of that." And I don't think he understands. So we'll see. My dishwasher may not be repaired here very soon. We're from Chili Water and Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard here in Midtown. And it's Corey and Schultz, presented by Bailey and Wood Financial Group here on the ISC Sports Network. Stick around.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back to Chili Water Brewing Company and Tap Room here at 42nd and Boulevard alongside Hoagies and Hops.
By the way, did you put on deodorant this morning?
Yes.
I don't know. A little bit of BO. Just
no, I don't think so at all.
Do you have onions on your sandwich?
Yes.
But I noticed it before you
We're in a
began eating
sandwich
the
shop.
sandwich. I understand, but I do think you got a little bow going on this morning.
No, I don't.
No, okay.
Here, reach in here.
No, okay.
No, it's like super fresh. Because I showered at like 8:30.
Are you
scrub my
I think
pits real good.
I've asked this before. Are you a bar soap or shower gel guy?
Shower gel. I was a bar soap person for a long time. Came shower gel after COVID. I don't know why. COVID changed a lot of things in my life. I really don't know why. That's really why we started doing it. Because I could buy all that in bulk. So I started buying. I went crazy when I lost my job and things like that. So I got I became sort of a recluse.
Didn't everybody? Isn't that the whole point of COVID? Now, one thing I did do during COVID, and I guess I can confess this now. I wasn't a hoarder. I was not a hoarder.
See, I was.
But here's what I did do. I went a little bit stir crazy, and the only place that was open were grocery stores. So literally like 3 times a week, I'd just be like, you know what? I'm just going to find – I've never been to the Kroger in Quincy, Indiana. Let's road trip. Let's go.
Oh, boy.
And I just started going to literally I hit like every grocery store in the greater Indiana area. And if I'd walk in and there were items that were ration, like if I walked in right as they were like putting them out, I'm like, well, what do you know?
Yeah.
Jake, you don't need diapers. I understand, but they're available. Let's go.
And then you flipped them on Amazon for a profit?
Didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I do still
Remember
have
the hand sanitizer guy? I think it was like in New Jersey or something like that. He bought like a whole, a truckload of hand sanitizer and hoarded it and then was selling it, marked it up like 50% and was selling it. And then he got arrested.
Did he get arrested?
Yeah. COVID's weird, man. It's
a
weird time.
For what did they arrest him?
Bailey Wood Financial
charge?
Group. BAWFG.com, 855-350-HOME for our friends at Bailey and Wood if you're looking to get pre-approval for your home mortgage.
Do you remember when the hand sanitizer all smelled like either chocolate or tequila?
If you're looking to refi, you could do so with Bailey and Wood Financial Group. Mike Wood and his team will provide 5-star customer service. And 19 Indiana branch locations now for Bailey and Wood Financial Group. If you just want to go into a physical spot, if that's what you are more comfortable with than going on the phone or going on the website. Check them out, BAWFG.com, and find a location nearest you for that at Bailey and Wood.
That's the thing. Good people.
Active in the community,
totally.
to say the least. That's the understatement of the century. But Bailey Wood Financial Group, we appreciate them being presenting sponsors of the show. Indiana was on bye, but they have a big top 10 matchup against Oregon. College Game Day is going to be there. And how about the Big Ten shakeup? How about the college football shakeup just in general? Texas losing again, but Penn State, Jake, I'll tell you this. Penn State losing to UCLA is about as big of an upset as I can remember.
I'm hesitant to say this because we're inside Hoagies and Hops. And this is kind of the home away from home for Penn State fans in Central Indiana. I totally get it and respect it. And Penn State is an illustrious, historic, passionate fan base and football program. But we do this every year. every year we do this where Penn State gets out to a 4-0 or 5-0 start, and you get super excited. Usually it's the Ohio State game. The narrative I'm about to spin, which I've said on this show many, many times, usually it's the Ohio State game. You go out, you're at haunted houses in mid-October, whatever it might be. You come home Saturday night. It's about 8:30. You're like, oh, my gosh, let's go. Ohio State is losing, baby. It is 17-6. Ohio State's down in the third quarter. Penn State's got them down. Awesome. I am super excited. And then you come back, and it's 23-17. They lose. And then the next week, Penn State goes out and loses to Minnesota. And you're like, what in the world? And the wheels come off. Rinse and repeat. Same story, different characters. This year, it was the Oregon game and in Happy Valley, which was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
And Oregon ends up winning that game, and then Penn State turns around a week later, and the wheels fall off. And James Franklin, you've got to wonder. I saw somebody say, Indiana fans better hope if UCLA wins this game that Curt Cignetti's phone is lost for a week. Now, I don't think Curt Cignetti's leaving Bloomington in any way, shape, or form. But you do have to wonder James Franklin's job is in hot water.
And is it just time? He's been there a long time. Is it just time for both sides to move on? Is it time for Franklin
How long
for
has he
his
been
own
there?
sanity? At least 10 years.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. 26,
I'll go 8 years.
2015?
I'll go 8 years.
No, it's been longer than that. Let me look.
Actually, you might be right.
12th year.
Wow.
Yeah. At least 10 years.
He replaced the fellow that went to the Texans, right?
Yeah, Bill O'Brien, I think, was the guy post Joe Pa, and then it's been Franklin ever since. And look, they've had success, but at Penn State, they don't want to go 9-3, 10-2
you're
every
right.
year. They want to compete for championships, and they really largely, even last year, CJ, they had the draw of the century. Would they get Boise and SMU? I mean,
James
come on.
Franklin's good. He's a good football coach, right?
Yeah,
He's the football Tom Crean.
yeah, a little bit.
If he were doing what he is doing and he was at Iowa or Minnesota, he'd be beloved. But he's at Penn State, and the standards are different. Oh, we have props.
Yeah, the standards are just different there, just like they are for Ryan Day. Nobody cares that Ryan Day is going to go 70-10. They don't care about beating Minnesota
props.
and Rutgers and Michigan State. They want to beat Michigan and win a national championship. What just happened there? Did you drop that?
No, well, first off,
He put it in 100 miles an hour?
100 miles an hour,
okay.
8 feet over my head into a blinding
Yeah.
light. I mean, what in the world just happened?
Brett's got a good arm.
And can you get down and get that?
No, I'm not getting that for you. Purdue is at Minnesota coming up as well. It may be a chance after 3 straight ranked opponents for Purdue to finally win. Minnesota is they're okay. How about this, Jake? PJ Fleck, our buddy PJ Fleck, I say that. He'd been on the radio show before, but he started row the boat and all that. Do you know that this is his 9th season now at Minnesota? Isn't that crazy?
I know, and he's another – look, Minnesota, he's probably done as good a job at Minnesota
As you can do.
right?
Yeah, if you go 8-4 at Minnesota, you're feeling pretty good about that. And that's a level that I know Purdue fans are probably like, well, I don't want to shoot for Minnesota, but that's a level that I think you would want to attain if you're Purdue, just from a consistency basis, where the maybe the ceiling isn't as high as you'd like it to be, but the floor is.
He threw
is
that
higher.
to me like that was like a Clayton Kershaw fastball.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just like here I'm going to toss this to you.
But
like,
also,
he
I mean,
wound
you're
up.
You're not
And
athletic.
Brett Favre. Excuse me.
I said you're not athletic. What? I think that's common knowledge. You've joked about that on the show, have you not?
I have incredible hand-eye coordination. I typically am just
Maybe, but you're not an athlete.
snap. I mean,
Yeah, but you're not an athlete.
what do you define as an athlete?
Somebody
I mean,
who's
I'm
athletic.
53 years old, but is it 53?
No, just in general. I've known you for 12 years, and you've never been an athlete in any of those 12 years. I mean, you run on a treadmill sometimes. That doesn't make you an athlete.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying that like you're taking it like mean-spirited. I'm not trying to insult you. You're not athletic.
How about this? In 1 year, for the very first time touching a golf club, for the very first time at the age of like 51 years old, I am now a passable golfer after 1 year. That's,
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, golf is a sport.
Did you see the second throw that was just attempted here?
Yeah. Golf is a sport that you definitely can't play into your 50s, so that's wild. Man, you're good at golf at 50?
No,
I don't know any 50-year-olds that are good
Derek,
at golf.
What I'm saying is picking up a club for the first time at the age of 51 and learning it within one summer and becoming passable is not many,
Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't make you an athlete, but I'm proud of you. Is that what you want me to say? I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you.
He
And
just
then-
packed up he just left with all of the props.
Notre Dame beats up on Boise State, and I'm for the people that benefited the most from Penn State and Texas taking a second loss, I wonder if Notre Dame's not on that list. If they go 10-2,
Derek, Notre
you think they're going to sneak
Notre
in?
Dame is one of the 7 best teams in college football. Honestly,
I mean, their 2 losses have aged well, right?
They're one of the 7 best teams in college football. If you were to ask, who would you say right now is a team that would be potentially on the – who is a team that right now is in the college football playoff, but a loss would knock them out? Give me a team. Ole Miss?
No, I don't think one loss would knock out Ole Miss. They're undefeated, aren't they?
Okay. But I'm saying a team that, like, people are like, okay, they're there for now, but, you know.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, I think, would be there,
last
right?
year's Arizona State, right?
Georgia Tech would be there.
Okay. Notre Dame would absolutely destroy Georgia Tech.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm there with Notre Dame. The problem with them
Notre
is
Dame is really
they're
good.
not going to get. I think they're really good. I think they're firmly a top 15 team.
They are in the college football playoff.
I think if they go 10-2, then they will more likely than not be.
Okay, here's a better question.
I mean, I think Penn State should be eliminated. Essentially, unless Penn State wins out and wins the Big Ten, I don't think they should.
Ohio State
That's how
is clearly the best team in college football. Agreed?
Okay. Miami?
I was going to say, who do you
Miami's
think
wins.
who's
Miami
second?
has the best collection of wins. Pound for pound, I would pick Ohio State to win right now. But Miami has the best resume.
Okay, Miami's fair. Miami's fair. But I just think it's not, you know, typically when you go into like November, there's like 5 teams. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my gosh, Clemson's really good and Alabama's really good and, you know, Notre Dame's whatever. This year, who is it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
even
Alabama,
Oregon.
I think Alabama's good. I think Georgia's good. I think Oregon's good.
I think IU's good.
I think Indiana. I really believe this. I think Indiana. Am I ready to say they will beat Oregon? I don't know. They absolutely can. I think Indiana will fare better in Eugene than they did Columbus a year ago.
Of course they can.
Why not Indiana, baby?
The question's,
why not Indiana?
They can win at Oregon. Anybody questioning that is still looking at pre-2024 Indiana, I think. You know, they have one of the most impressive wins of the year where they crushed Illinois. Say what you want about Illinois. Illinois is probably like an 8-4, 9-3 team, but you beat them by 53 points.
Right.
So, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of Indiana fans there at Autzen Stadium. Now, it's a great game day atmosphere, and Oregon has a very passionate fan base.
Of the teams in the Big Ten,
but so
who
does
was
Indiana.
the last to win in Eugene?
Oh, it's got to be IU from when I was a senior, right?
Correct.
It's
That's
one
correct.
of the one of the strangest wins in
Is
IU.
that Matt LaVecchio?
Yeah, IU history. One of the oddest wins where I think Oregon turned the ball over 5 times, and Indiana won by a field goal.
Who was Oregon's quarterback?
I have no idea. This would have been post Joey Harrington.
Post Achilles Smith?
Yes, Achilles Smith would have been late 90s.
Didn't they have a fellow named who's I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't have been Mariota, right? A young Mariota?
No. They had Kellen Clemens, remember? They've had a couple of other guys that have ended up in the NFL that were not star players by any stretch of the imagination. But, yeah, Indiana can win that game. And even if not, Jake, even if, let's say this still follows the form. Let's say they still lose at Penn State and they lose at Autzen. I still think Indiana's going to have a great shot at 10-2 to make the playoff. I really do.
Agreed.
I think the people that know college football know that Indiana's really good. I think it's the people on Twitter or whatever else that are like, LOL, Indiana, blah, 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 blah. Those are the people that are downgrading who they are. I mean, I think firmly it's a top 10 level football team. Just the schedule is much more difficult than it was last year, especially the road schedule.
Derek, I think Indiana in football is like Iowa State in basketball. You know, Iowa State in basketball every year, the tournament pairings come out, and you're like, Iowa State's a 2 seed. They're 29-5. Like I haven't heard anything about them all year. And then you look at their schedule, and like, oh gosh, they won at Kansas. That's cool. They destroyed. So that's what Indiana football is now, right?
And it's a really difficult place to play. Hilton Coliseum, where Iowa State plays, is a really underrated home court atmosphere.
That's an impressive poll by you.
I think that's a fairly well-known.
No.
You don't think so?
Hilton Coliseum? No.
You don't think so?
No.
Do you watch college basketball?
You stop 100 people and you say, name Iowa State's arena.
Oh, I think college basketball. No, I think if you stopped 100 college basketball fans, they would know Hilton Coliseum.
No.
Rake, chime in here. I think you want to chime in.
Hilton Coliseum. Yes.
Yeah, Hilton Coliseum is a prestigious place. It's kind of like the Mackey Arena of the Big 12.
But if you stopped, I'm telling you right now. I mean, Derek, I went to Kansas.
So you're mad about Iowa State?
No, I'm saying I think if you went to an IU basketball game or Mackey Arena, and you stopped 100 people and just said, name Iowa State's arena, 45 would know Hilton Coliseum.
But if you ask people, name the toughest places to play in college basketball, I think it would be wherever Iowa State play. I think it would be on the list.
Naming the arena itself.
Okay, fine.
Naming the arena itself would be
fine. I'll give you that. But Hilton's a nice. I mean,
no.
At the end of the day, it's Iowa State, right? I mean,
I'm not disputing that
they're not the most relevant,
right?
Yeah,
but they're Iowa State unquestionably in football and basketball. Amongst the Power Five, Iowa State has the biggest disparity between what they are athletically and what they are perceived to be athletically.
Yeah, no,
that is a very good athletic program. They're good every year in college football. They're very good every year in college basketball, and yet you never hear about either one of them.
No, you really don't. And the football team is good again this year. We come back on the show, quick hits, and we still have Chateau Kitchen's Bite or Bull Bleep to get to.
We got to get to our Jags report, but unfortunately,
and our Jags report.
He threw the Jaguar 19 feet over my head,
Yeah.
and the poor thing is sitting here next to me on the ground.
And to a non-athlete, so that's a problem. It's Query and Schultz from Hoagies and Hops and Chili Water Brewing Company in Midtown here on the ISC Sports Network.
At Bailey & Wood, we pride.
Welcome back, Hoagies and Hops, Chili Water Brewing. It's Query and Schultz, our first ever recorded edition here in Midtown, in our favorite Sando and beer spot.
I'm happy to say the Jag has been recovered.
That's good.
The props have been put in place. It's all a work in progress here for our first maiden voyage. And by the way, thank you to the Horizon League. We didn't mention that. Thank you to the Horizon League for having us out last week, which was awesome.
We had such a busy week last week. I forgot that was last week. But, yeah, Sean Sullivan, Julie Rowe-Lash, and the rest of the crew at the Horizon League put on a great show for their media days. And we, the ISC crew was out there all day getting all kinds of content. And it's awesome. They're a great partner of ours, and we really appreciate it.
It was great.
Before we get to the Jags report, though, let's hit quick hits here real quick. Piggybacking on the IU conversation, D'Angelo Pons looks like he's ready to return to swim with the Ducks. See how I did that? His last name's Pons.
I know.
And he's coming back.
The duck.
To swim with the Ducks.
The duck, though, the actual duck mascot is just the Oregon Duck. But they have a live duck at the stadium that is not named Pons. His name is Puddles.
It's amazing that we've lasted this long, considering this is what I have to work with.
That's his name, Puddles.
Preseason All-American, and Pons missed the Iowa game with a lower body injury. Worked with trainers and dressed out, but he didn't end up playing in the actual game against Iowa. Obviously, he had the bye week as well.
When you were in college, did you suffer many lower body injuries?
I expect Pons to be fine and play, said Kurt Signetti on Monday. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, why don't?
I got a concussion before the IU actually at halftime of the IU North Carolina game. I went outside to smoke break. And I went outside, and then we were going back up the balcony stairs, and there was a North Carolina fan, and we were kind of going back and forth, and I turned to face him, and I was saying something back, and I tripped and fell backwards and knocked my head, and it was bleeding for the second half of the game. And I don't really remember the second half.
So it's like your buddy with the Super Bowl.
But that was a higher body injury. That was a high body injury from college.
What were you? You went out to smoke?
Yeah. At Assembly Hall, they had a smoking area that you could. I don't even know if they still do, that you could go to.
Oh, this is the basketball game.
Yeah, and somebody that was wearing North Carolina stuff decided to mouth off.
Okay.
And so I was mouthing back because I'm not going to be disrespected like that, especially in my home arena as an IU student.
So what were you smoking?
A menthol of some kind, probably.
Cool?
No, I didn't like Cools. Newport sometimes. Marlboro Light had a green box. We used to smoke those menthols. Or Marlboro Milds were in a blue box.
Did Camel make
Camels had a menthol, but I didn't like them. I like Camel Lights regular. Those were my go-to regular. Or P-Funks, Parliaments I liked. Where you go and you get the little tobacco out of the filter there and then you light it up.
I'm I had no idea you were
I'll tell
such an
this.
aficionado
Look,
of the lung guard.
I've said this a lot, and like it's the worst habit in the world, and I'm so glad that kids really don't do it, and largely it's been
It is
like,
weird now, like literally.
society-wise.
Literally, you go somewhere now and somebody lights up a cigarette and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah, like,
we're,
what are you
we're
doing?
surrounded by a communist.
But I
it's
can't
like
tell
the
you,
craziest thing ever.
I loved smoking cigarettes. I love that. I still think about it sometimes. And I was never like heavily addicted or anything. I think the most I ever did was a pack a day,
So when I worked at Hardwick's Pipe and Tobacco,
which I guess would be
we
kind of
sold
heavily addicted,
imported
right?
cigarettes, right? So I can tell you like all the imported cigarette brands.
Yeah.
But also there were like the trendy like craft beer of cigarettes
Yeah.
in this time period.
Like beaties and stuff like that, like the leaf.
Sherbeti,
Yeah.
which were Indian, but Planet, Jumbo. Do you remember Jumbo?
I don't.
Gosh, Planet
I couldn't
Jumbo.
afford international cigarettes, Jake. I was a college student.
No, these were domestic.
Okay.
Camel Reds were like
Yeah.
like an in vogue one. Those are the ones that we sold that were basically like that. They were like the craft beer of cigarettes, and that was like a big thing for people to get.
Yeah. I just loved in my car or whatever else. I loved it. But don't smoke. It's a really horrible habit. And I stopped early. I mean, I stopped in my late 20s. So
You know,
I
they
guess
say
I
it
hung on
stunts
for a
your
while.
growth.
Yeah, and I didn't have experience with that. Baseball coming back, viewership records during the wild card series. Now lifted up by Red Sox Yankees, of course, because everybody cares about that rivalry everywhere. Game 3 of Sox Yanks averaged nearly 7.5 million viewers. That is the single game wild card series record. Guess what is the largest wild card audience? Yankees Sox since what matchup?
Yankee Sox.
Yankees Sox in 2021. That's right.
Derek, look. I took this photo for a friend who's a big Yankees fan, but just to show that I'm not a bandwagon guy.
Yeah. Show to the camera.
Let's go.
I'm so glad that they went back to their old.
Go.
Do you remember like the
That's
Jose
from
Bautista
'93.
days?
That's the '93 World Series. hat.
where they had like that weird like the T, the weird script T, and then there was a little Blue Jay face on it for a while. They were doing that logo. I'm so glad that they went back to like
they have a
the
city
Pat
hat.
Hankton era.
My buddy
Blue Jays.
Jeff Hester bought the City Toronto hat and he loves it. And I'm like, yeah, no, you got to go with just
No, I mean they're good. Their
They are
offense
good.
is good, and Vlad is just. He's a psychopath. I think the Yankees, even with the bases loaded, should just walk Vlad. But they only have maybe one more game.
You know
to
what's
worry about
interesting
that.
to me? You have the potential, if I'm not mistaken, Greg Rakestraw, who's in our ear, will know the answer to this. What year were the Blue Jays brought in as an expansion franchise? 76?
I believe so.
Okay. In 76, the Blue Jays were brought in as an expansion franchise. What year were the Mariners brought in as an expansion franchise?
68.
That's the Seattle Pilots. The Mariners were actually 76 as
The-
well.
Okay.
Okay. The Mariners, yes, were also 76. Now, the Seattle Pilots came in and were the Pilots for 1 year and then became the
Oh
Derek,
God,
point of view,
I don't know the answer to this.
Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay, yeah.
So you have 3 of those
Good one.
4, and then the last one, it's going to be either the Phillies or the Dodgers, and it looks like the Dodgers. So you have one moved franchise, and then this cross-pollination of expansion franchise, which, we're talking about stuff that is basically ancient history at this point, but I find it interesting nonetheless.
I sent my mother.
Go Blue Jays.
I sent my mother-in-law a card, like a congratulations card, congratulating her on a great season for the Red Sox, and that they should be really proud that they lost to a better team, but they got as far as they did. They made the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. And is that mean-spirited?
I don't think it's mean-spirited, but I think you probably should have thought about it before your Yankees went out and got
It
their
doesn't
ass
matter.
kicked.
Her team's out, so
Like,
they already beat her team.
But your team's been embarrassed.
It doesn't matter. The Yankees could get totally dusted by the Blue Jays. They
You know
still
what?
knocked out
The
Red
Yankees
Sox.
could turn around and win 3 straight, too. That's
They
the
could.
thing about the baseball playoffs. Like, you look at the Phillies and the Dodgers. Dodgers up 2-0. Phillies had that rally that they're really close to making it 1-1 apiece. And I saw also, and I know this is a stat that's been out there for a while, but I think it's been recently accomplished. This is truly remarkable. Have you seen that stat going around about? And I listen. I know that I'm late to the party because it was not yesterday. I don't believe when this took place. Maybe I'm wrong. Did Schwarber homer yesterday, or was it game 1?
He homered in one of the games. He homered last night because somebody had a stat that he's homered in the
That's it.
NLDS, the NLCS,
It's
the
unbelievable.
ALCS, the ALDS, the World Series,
Kyle Schwarber has had a home run.
the wild
And
card
the
round.
American League wild card round, the National League wild card round, the ALDS, the NLDS, the ALCS, the NLCS, the World Series, an All-Star game,
And the World Baseball Classic.
Team.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, wild. He's had an unbelievable career.
Especially for like a
I
230
mean,
hitter.
he's one of the greatest, regardless of sport. He's one of the greatest athletes in IU history. I mean,
I would agree with that.
People have to realize that. But good for baseball, right? I mean, viewership jumped 89% for under
it's cool.
35,
It is
108% for kids 17 under. It feels like baseball's having a little bit of a moment here where maybe it is starting to come back.
The postseason is just cool. Listen, and this is what I've always said about the postseason. I always root for the postseason to have at least one team deep into October that plays in a cold weather climate. I don't want to see the Rays and the Marlins in the World Series. I don't want to see.
Well, you don't ever have to see that.
I don't want to see Arizona and Texas.
Yeah.
God. I want to see part of the magic of October, part of the magic of the postseason are those games where it's late in the game, it's the 8th inning, there's 2 on, there's 2 outs, it's a full count, the pitcher's sitting there, and they're scanning the crowd, and you can feel the tension, and people are in their like hooded sweatshirts with the jacket over
Philly.
it, and they're doing this.
Or it's Boston.
Correct. It's Philly or it's Boston, and it's
Wrigley.
45 degrees.
Yep.
That's the magic of October baseball,
Hell
right?
yeah. I'm amped up, and I need a cigarette now. I'm amped up and ready. Amped up and ready to go.
The problem is you're not going to see it in Toronto because they'll close the roof.
Yeah, well,
right?
yeah.
You're probably not going to see it in Seattle, although it's going to be maybe drizzly if they're playing in Seattle. You certainly won't see it in L.A. You would see it in Philly, okay, granted. And then who the other?
Does
Detroit?
Milwaukee have a retractable
Detroit would have
roof?
Milwaukee has a
roof,
retractable
right?
roof,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. That's what I thought that they had on theirs.
I forgot about Detroit, by the way.
Yeah, Detroit would be cool too. IU Indy Jags report. You want to hit it up?
It is indeed time for the IU Indy Jags report. First off, want to say great time at the Horizon League Media Day, and more importantly, a great time meeting the young players for IU Indy men's basketball team, because not only were they super nice young guys, but I'm excited about what that offense is going to be able to do and the style of play that the Jags are going to play. And in talking to those guys, I could tell, like, they're geeked. They're ready. This is basically going to be like when Joe Tiller first came into the Big Ten, and it was, what did everybody say that they were playing, right? Like basketball on grass. This is going to be hockey on a basketball court. Just shift change, fresh guys all the time, fast-paced, back and forth, and it's going to be exciting to watch. But let's talk about some of the other sports taking place within IU Indy. Derek, do you want to hold the jack? Thank you. Volleyball. We'll begin with volleyball. 3-game win streak. Not on the shoulder. That's slightly distracting. 3-game win streak this past week, sweeping Purdue Fort Wayne, and then 3-1 on Friday against Milwaukee. They swept the Panthers again on Saturday to close out a homestand to go 9-1 on the week for volleyball, 3-2 in league play. The Jags are on the road this week at Robert Morris. Derek, I'm trying to look here at what I'm looking at, right? They return home the following game to host Youngstown State for 2 matches inside the jungle for volleyball. And by the way, congratulations to Grace Purica. She was the Horizon League Volleyball Player of the Week. Women's soccer. IU Indy Women's Soccer continues to add to the win column. They earned their second conference win of the season up at Detroit Mercy, blanking them 2-0. Do you know Detroit Mercy, what their nickname is, Derek?
Titans.
Thank you. Sarah Bambrick earned the clean sheet in goal, shutting them out, right? Horizon League Defensive Player of the Week for her efforts. Sarah Henson and Lily Ma tallied goals for the Jaguars. They both scored. IU Indy, this is most important, hosting Robert Morris Thursday at 7 p.m. So when you are watching this, you've got still time. Thursday at 7 o'clock, they are going to be at home against Robert Morris. And then Youngstown State on Sunday, 1 o'clock. That is senior day. So we would love to see everybody out to watch the soccer for the women. 1 o'clock on Sunday for senior day. Men's soccer, men's side of things. They fell short to the Horizon League champs at Robert Morris on Saturday. They dropped a 2-1 road decision, I should say. They dropped the lone goal on a penalty kick for IU Indy. Jags are back home Saturday, the 11th. So coming up this Saturday, 5 o'clock, Purdue Fort Wayne. First 50 students at the game get a free pizza. How about that? When you were in college, Derek, you do anything for a free pizza, right?
I'd do anything to eat. Hot food.
Remember that? Didn't you gain a bunch of weight one semester?
I did. I got a drinking ticket, and
don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I ate macaroni and cheese for every meal for like 3 months.
Okay,
that's all I could.
Is that when you became a fat guy?
That's all I could afford.
You were a fat guy.
I wasn't fat. I was thicker.
IU Indy men's and women's basketball season tickets now on sale. And I'm telling you, from the men's standpoint, you buy season tickets for this, you are seeing not only, and it's awesome because you got some transfer guys in because Coach Hallett's brought some new guys in, right? But in addition to that, players from Central Indiana, we just talked to one of them from Cathedral, right? Nonstop action. I promise you that, nonstop action. Tickets going on sale right now, and you can do it at iuindyjags.com/tickets for men's and women's season tickets. Men's basketball opener November 6th against Long Island University. Women's basketball November 3rd against Indiana State at the Jungle. That is your Jags report. Get your tickets now for IU Indy Division I athletics. Local players right here in Central Indiana.
IUINDY.
And the Horizon League, which we love, which is based right
thanks
the
again
league based right here
to
in
the
Indianapolis.
Horizon League for helping out. It was great to see Luke Basso there, the AD at Indy, and Julie Rolash. It's just an awesome.
Saw Brian Brazzi out there. Great dude.
Awesome crew. We come back, final time from Hoagies and Hops and Chili Water Brewing. We will have our Chateau Kitchens Buy It or Bowl Bleep, and we'll wrap up this edition of Query and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey, AC.
Nice snap.
Morgan, give it a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Hey, AC.
Nice snap.
Morgan, give it a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back, final time. Corey and Schultz presented by Bailey Wood
By the way,
Financial Group.
Jordan's our resident baseball expert.
Yeah.
Said you were wrong about Schwarber.
No, you mentioned that he homered, so we apologize. We
I
have to do a
assumed
retraction.
because that stat about him was making
I saw
the
that
realms,
same. No, I saw that video.
that it must have been.
It was in my feed, and it was a video of every Schwarber
Yeah.
homer.
I
in
just
each
assumed
round.
one of those must have been recent, or else why would that be relevant?
Yeah, because the Phillies are about to potentially flame out for the second straight year. Because they flamed out last year too. Unfortunately for
we're
our
Hoagies
friends
and
at
Hops. You
Hoagies
have
and
to be
Hops.
careful.
Well, that's baseball playoffs. Give it, then they take it away. Randomness.
I'd like to ask you this real quick. I'm going to mention the team in
Dodgers
the
are really good.
postseason. I want you to tell me the first player that you think of all time. All time. You ready?
Yeah.
Tigers.
Oh, the first player I thought of was Cecil Fielder. Is that weird?
Okay. No.
Okay.
For me, it's Lou Whitaker.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mariners.
Oh, Junior.
Okay. Gaylord Perry.
What?
I'm just telling you. If you just
Okay.
go boom, 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 right? Okay. Blue Jays.
Joe Carter.
Jesse Barfield.
Yeah, I think of Yankees when I think of Jesse Barfield, though.
Okay. Also, okay. Yankees.
Don Mattingly.
Ricky Henderson.
Well, he played for every major league team.
Brewers.
Ooh, Brewers. Prince Fielder was the first one that popped in my head. Is that weird? I should have said Robin Yount.
Paul Molitor.
Yeah,
showing,
okay.
We're
Yeah,
showing our
I
age
should have said
difference
Robin
here, I
Yount.
realize. Okay. Phillies.
First Philly that comes to mind. It's Bryce Harper. Is that weird?
No, for me, it would be Mike Schmidt with Jimmy Rollins, a close
Yeah,
second.
okay.
Who was the other guy? Ryan
Howard.
Howard.
Yeah, big home run
Comes
hitter.
up. Okay, what team are we missing left?
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Me?
Yeah.
Or
go ahead.
Hershiser?
I mean, the Dodgers, there are a ton.
Yeah.
I'll go Pedro Guerrero.
Okay.
Shohei Ohtani's up there. Kirk Gibson, obviously, is up there. Don Drysdale's. You can go on and on and on. We missing any others?
No, I think we got everybody.
Cubs.
Sandberg.
I'll go with Sosa.
Yeah? Okay. And Cubs fans are not going to be happy with you. Let's get to Buyer Mobley, brought to
He
you by our
looks like
friends.
Taco, the guy
at
that does
Chateau
putting on the
Kitchens.
Ritz.
ChateauKitchens.com, at Chateau Kitchens for
Have you
before
seen
and
that
after
taco
pictures.
that does putting on the Ritz?
They're in the business of
That's
in-home
what Sammy
transformations.
Sosa looks like now.
Anything that you want to do
Speaking
in
of
the interior of your home,
transformations, here's Sammy Sosa.
I don't think they want to be associated with that.
Okay.
Kitchen, bathroom,
In the kitchen,
basement.
you might be making a taco, which happens to look like Sammy Sosa. Look at it. Look up the Entertainer taco. Like they look identical now.
All right, you done? Mm-hmm. All right, great, because we're kind of on time here, too. The Colts should be the AFC's Super Bowl favorite now.
If you had Cheese Whiz and you were going to put it on a cracker, what kind of cracker would you put it on?
I'm still going to say Buffalo.
Would you put it on the Ritz?
I'm still going to say Buffalo.
Taco.
For me.
Putting on the Ritz. Looks
AFC
like Sammy
favorite.
Sosa.
But are the Colts in that conversation? Yeah, absolutely. They have to be. They have to be in that conversation. Whether you like it, that makes you happy, mad, sad, whatever. Colts are in that conversation for AFC favorite.
What was the question?
The Colts should be the AFC Super Bowl favorite right now.
I'm still going to say, I mean, they should be. Yes, they are in the discussion. Are they considered to be? No.
I mean, I'm just going to say bull bleep just because I think Buffalo gets more benefit of the doubt.
I would agree with that.
Than the Colts.
And I tend to agree with you, Derek, and I know it's all power of suggestion, but when you think about been there, done that, you still, even though they're 2 and 3, think
Chiefs,
about
yeah,
Kansas
of
City.
course. Yeah, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, right? Baseball playoff expansion was a good thing. Buy it or bull bleep?
I buy that. Actually, I think it's I buy it.
it pains me.
They didn't do didn't they used to do a one-game play-in? That was ridiculous.
Let me just say this. Look,
and stop with the goggles and the champagne after every round.
I know you're
Nobody
one,
else does
and I know we have Reds fans listeners. The 83-win Reds, they had no business playing in any sort of a postseason game. I thought that was complete nonsense. They're lucky that it worked out this year where you had 3 really good teams in the AL that all deserved. The Sox, the Tigers, and the Yankees all deserved wild card spots. And obviously in the NL as well, you had a couple of those that were good teams that deserved to be there. I love the exclusivity of the baseball. I would have left it at 4 in each side, so an 18 playoff. But look, the drama, I mean, you got Yankees, Sox, intense, right? These best of 3s. For viewership, from an entertainment standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. So I guess, yes, baseball playoff expansion was a good thing as much as I don't like it. Final one, Jake. The SEC will have more teams in the college football playoff than the Big Ten.
Okay, the Big Ten in the college football playoff, I believe, will include
Ohio State, Oregon, IU, Penn State on the periphery, Michigan.
Nah.
Could they get in there?
Penn State ain't in.
Illinois?
No.
USC?
No. So I'll say 3 from the Big Ten. SEC, you will have Alabama. You will have Georgia. Ole Miss does this every year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Ole Miss. We're excited about Ole Miss. Oh, guess what? They just got beat by Mississippi State. Oh, guess what? They just stubbed their toe against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt might get in. I'll say draw.
A&M?
A&M's.
Forgot about A&M.
A&M's got
Tennessee? They only have 1 loss.
No, there's going to be cannibalization here.
Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, A&M, Mississippi. I mean, I think in the SEC you have a lot more
the
teams
SEC
in the mix.
is a lot like this set. Very tight.
You have a lot
Right?
more teams in the mix. I actually kind of like this. This is good.
Okay.
Your shoulders feel good. It feel harder. I haven't felt your shoulders in a while, but they feel – that harder is a weird word. They feel stiffer than normal. Do you want to feel mine? I've been pounding away. We're about to do a Mexico vacation in November. I haven't told you about that. And I'm in
some Santeria.
It's swimsuit season for me.
Prep up.
It's swimsuit season. So I'm in grind mode.
Wait, you're going to vacation when?
Mexico, first week of December. We won it in a charity auction. We're going with other families from the school. It's going to be awesome. We're all like best friends.
Sounds like a nightmare for
They're
those
all
people.
very successful, though, unlike me. They're attorneys and doctors and things like that. And what do you
How much
do?
did you pay for this at a charity auction?
I had a sports radio show.
How much?
Well, we're splitting it 6 ways. So
I'm
not
going
that
to be
much.
gone. By the way, official show announcement. I will be gone November 12th to the 18th. That includes a Tuesday.
Okay. When were you planning to tell me that?
About 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll have Rake or somebody else
Well, there you
kind
go.
of fill in here. Maybe Brant can come in and throw the kitty around here.
I guess.
Toss
Right?
it around the room. Hey, thanks to our great friends here, Hoagies and Hops
Kitty's okay.
and Chili Water Brewing. We
It
are
is awesome.
so excited to be here and to do the show from here. We love this place. We love these Sandos. We love these beers. We love Christina. We love Dan. We love the whole crew here.
Christina's
Alexis,
fostering a puppy.
everybody. Freddie, Donnie. I love the whole crew on both sides here. My favorite neighborhood spot at
It is
42nd
great.
and Boulevard. Hoagiesandhops.com for their catering menu, and come in here to the chat room and enjoy a cold beer. Thank you to our friends at Chateau Kitchens as well, and of course Bailey and Wood Financial Group and IU Indy Athletics for sponsoring the show. For our entire ISC crew, I know it was an early morning. Thanks to Vince and Jordan and Brant and Rake. He's Jake. I'm Derek. We'll see you next time right here on Corey and Schultz.
At Bailey & Wood, we pride ourselves on our 5-star customer service. But at our core, we're a family. Family owned, and family to our customers, staff, and our community. From charity events to recognizing hometown heroes, we prioritize giving back to our communities that have always supported our growth. So let us help you get your dream home today.